Welcome everyone to the VLOGAN, a vlog for individuals with special needs and those who love them. Today I have the great pleasure of welcoming Tom Heines, who is the Executive Director of Empower Sports. He's going to tell us what Empower Sports is, but just to give you a little preview, Empower Sports is a organization that does sports programming for individuals with special needs and other folks in the community to help everyone, regardless of ability or disability, participate in meaningful sports in the Cleveland area over 6 counties. So, Tom, welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me on, and thank you everyone that's logged in and is going to take a few minutes of your day to hear me talk about something I love. And Logan, thanks for the invitation. This is an incredible opportunity, and wherever you're watching, whether you're in Columbus or Cleveland or Timbuktu, if you are inspired by the work, if you are interested in becoming part of it, please get in touch. We would love to hear from you.
Great. I'm really interested to learn about Empower Sports. I got on your website and looked at it. Tell me what your role is in it, and then maybe tell me a little bit about, I've read the purpose, the mission, but if you can just tell the folks who are going to be watching this about Empower Sports.
Ironically, there's some kind of synergies between what you all do at Phillips Graham and the way we were started. So way back in the day when I first graduated from college, I was working for my dad, and he had a basketball business. So we did camps and clinics and, AAU teams and training and all these sorts of things. And I was in a business development role. We met a guy who's a special care planner here in Cleveland. His name is Steve Thompson. He was with Skylight at the time, now has his own firm, Common Goal Financial. And I don't remember how we got connected to him, but he shared that, he kind of challenged us and got to know our business. And he said, why don't you do anything for kids and adults with special needs? Because that was, a space that he was doing a lot of work and connecting with a lot of families. And he said, there's just not enough opportunities for these kids to play and learn sports and meet peers and make friends. And sports are very powerful. And I think we're both immediately inspired. It was like, yeah, why not? I've kind of always had a heart for people that are left out or the underdogs. And so we started that program. The first program we ever did, innocently enough, it was just like a suggestion of something to do. And so we said, hey, we're gonna do a 6-week basketball skills clinic. It's gonna be open for kids and adults with disabilities. And we did some networking, and I met with other organizations here in Cleveland and people that were serving and working in that space. And they asked a lot of good questions. What's it look like? Is it for kids? Is it for adults? Is it for kids in wheelchairs? Is it for kids with cognitive disabilities? And at that young and dumb age, I was like, no, it's for everyone. We'll just kind of figure it out. And maybe a little bit naive, but that was the spirit in which this whole thing was started. And when we launched our first program, that was like, hey, this is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're high functioning and you are the best player on the team, or you are in a wheelchair, and we're going to have to hold your hand and work with you to do everything. And so we started that first program with that premise, and it was it kind of went horribly because we didn't know what we were doing, and we hadn't put a lot of thought into, like, well, how do you work with someone that's on the autism spectrum, or how do you blend kids that have Down syndrome and adults that are really competitive and have but have a lot of sensory needs, and then kids in wheelchairs. But through that 6 weeks, we learned a ton, and parents showed us a lot of grace and provided really powerful feedback and said, we're here for you. Let's give you some pointers. And so we wrapped up the 6 weeks, and I would say by the 6th week, we kind of figured things out a little bit, and I felt like we were maybe kind of catching our stride. But I didn't have any plans for following up, but we were packing up the gym, and people said, when's the next one? I'm like, well, haven't thought about that, but let me get back to you. So we scheduled another activity. And so just make a long story short, we just kind of continued to grow organically. And as we offered more programming, we kind of spread out geographically. We started to offer other and different sports, stuff that was better for more competitive players, but all while maintaining that commitment to being fully inclusive. So it doesn't matter where you are, we're going to meet you at your needs. And we want to use sports as a way to help kids primarily develop better social skills, make friends, be included, get a place where they can exercise and have some opportunities to improve their physical well-being, emotional well-being, have greater self-esteem. Those are the things we care about, and sports are really just the way that we accomplish it. We don't keep score. We're not a competitive program. But I mentioned at the beginning, Steve, started that program with us. And I think from their aspects was, first and foremost, it's the right thing to do. It's something that our firm can give back to, not necessarily financially, but our planners can go out and volunteer and um, be on the basketball court and help the kids. But as a byproduct of that, parents are naturally going to ask, who are you? What's your deal? And they generated some client base out of it, then that's great too. So interestingly, with the planning that your firm does, there are a lot of common threads between what Empower Sports cares about and what your firm cares about, and trying to serve these families in obviously very different ways, but just out of a heart for wanting to be there for people that need some support.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So it was just sort of this organic thing that you put a seed in the ground, it grew a little bit, and then all of a sudden, hey, growing, 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 and now it's, by the look of the website, it looks like it's a full-grown tree, but it's continuing to grow and get stronger.
We're in an exciting place because we have over a decade of experience working with the families, and we've got a great base of folks that we serve here in Northeast Ohio. So we've got programming in 6 counties, and we're very proud of that and excited about that. And I think last year we had somewhere around 1,500 program registrations, represented by 500 unduplicated athletes. Those kids and adults range in ages as young as 5 all the way through adulthood. We've served individuals of more than 40 different cognitive, intellectual, hearing, visual, gross motor disability diagnoses. So the programs are super diverse. We have thousands of volunteers every year. So we're really big on connecting typically developing people, whether that's high school students or sports teams or businesses, to the kids that we serve, so that there's mutuality and our kids are getting to play with new people and make new friends, but also typically developing people learn to see someone with disabilities as a human being and worthy of their time, their dignity, and their friendship. So we're proud of that. But we feel like we're at an exciting time that there are a number of different ways that our business could evolve and grow. And I was with one of my board members yesterday, who is going to be really involved in our strategic planning for the next 3 to 5 years. And I said, that I don't know what this thing is going to look like in 5 to 10 years, but I never want to deviate from keeping the main thing. And that's serving kids and helping improve lives through sports and exercise. And it could look a number of different ways. And my competitive side could be like, I just want this business to grow and grow and grow. But we're going to continue to kind of check ourselves and say what's most important is that we are serving the athletes that we're fortunate enough to serve to the best of our abilities, and we're improving lives, not growing a business. If that's a byproduct of what we're doing, great, but always keeping the main thing, and trying to help kids and adults with disabilities.
That's awesome. I always think it's great when I talk to somebody like you, who's the executive director of a program, and having read the mission statement and the purpose, that your words are exactly the mission statement and the purpose, just different words. So that's always great.
Off the cuff, instead of being able to polish it up on a computer and think about it, but just shooting from the hip. But yeah, I hopefully we can, and I feel really fortunate. I'm surrounded by, on our board of directors and our staff, just people who are genuine and care, and are in the room for the right reasons, and the fruits of their labor demonstrate that. And so yeah, we feel like we've got a great team.
Yeah, awesome. So is this a full-time job as executive director for you?
Yeah. So we've got programming almost every night of the week and on weekends. And so I think the 8 to 5 is, you're networking and writing grants and trying to support the program and grow the program. And obviously spending a lot of time working with families and the facilities that host our programs, the schools that we work with. So that's what happens in the 8 to 5. And also kind of an offshoot of that. So we launched a social enterprise just a couple of years ago that does basic apparel decoration. So, screen printed t-shirts, hoodies, and those sorts of things. And we employ a few of the athletes that have come through our programs. So every Thursday we've got 3 different adults that come in and print t-shirts and whatnot with us. We obviously supply the apparel and uniforms and all of those sorts of things for our own programs, but we also through the value of that social enterprise, I've been able to work with some really cool businesses and nonprofits here in the Cleveland area and become kind of their go-to for basic apparel. So we
Oh,
run
that's
that business out of this office as well. But yeah, it's a full-time thing. Someday I'll probably have to get a real job, as my kids get older and we start to think about college tuition, maybe I'll have to move on, but hopefully not.
That's awesome. So I know that you have a website. Can you just kind of tell the viewers what they're going to find on that website? And probably the most important thing is how to find out what you offer and how to participate. And then we can transition into if people wanted to help out as a volunteer or as a sponsor.
Absolutely. And first of all, to the viewers, thanks for staying with me this long. I get pretty excited about this stuff and blab on and on. So thanks if you're still here, we appreciate you and your time
That's
and
great.
attention. But yeah, our website is a great resource because, and also, we are in the modern age of social media. So we're on Facebook, Instagram. It was Twitter. I don't have to, but it's X now, apparently. So we've worked across all the different social media sites, and then our website, whether you're a family and you have a child with disabilities who you want to be involved in an inclusive, encouraging sports environment, and looking for that connection to be able to play and do all the sorts of things that typical kids get to do through sports and exercise, find our website. The programs tab is frequently being updated. You can check out the calendar to see where programs are being offered and kind of find the right fit for your family. We do basketball, softball, soccer, flag football, exercise. We do yoga, golf, pickleball. I'm probably forgetting something, but lots of opportunities to check out there.
Sports.org.
Empowersports.org, not .com. I think empowersports.com is a foreign sports agency, so don't be fooled when you end up on empowersports.com. We are empowersports.org. And if you're someone that's just interested from a philanthropic or volunteer standpoint, we've got a tab for you as well. So our sponsors tab or our get involved tab. There's a way to seamlessly kind of get connected to us. We just ask you to complete a short form on a platform we use called Volgistics, and then we'll connect right with you and share all the opportunities and ways and places that you can volunteer with us. Volunteers are the lifeblood of what we do, and so I think we've got a pretty unique program, and our volunteers, whether they're someone that's kind of coming and going in a regular basis, or they're the one time, like just a group volunteer project, super important to what we want to accomplish, because we want to help kids feel accepted and welcomed, and all of our athletes get really excited when they see new faces coming in the gym, and they love to meet new people. So that's a big piece of what we do. And then, yeah, our programs are heavily subsidized by local foundations and businesses and philanthropic leaders in our community. Everything that we do, all of our programming, multi-week sessions, in great facilities, kids getting team uniforms and being surrounded by excellent people, and everything that we do is offered at nominal and non-mandatory fees. So a full season, which could be 7 to 10 weeks in length and comes with a lot of bells and whistles, is just $30 to participate. And any family that can't swing that can just check a box on the website and the fee is waived. We're huge on removing all barriers to entry. So the businesses and foundations that donate to our program have enabled us to reach more families and offer more programming every year and quote unquote grow a business without passing on any of the expense of growing a business to the families, which is a hallmark value. It'll never change so long as I'm living and breathing and part of it. These programs are going to stay affordable, and the fees will be non-mandatory forever.
Oh, Tom, that's just amazing. So I checked out your social media, and it looks like a group of folks from Empower did some things with the Cavs, but the program itself, and you as the representative, were honored recently at a Cavs game. Is that right?
That was a really, really cool experience. It being a lifetime Clevelander and Homer, big fan of the team, and have followed the team forever. A huge part of my, friendships and relationships are talking sports. Like sports it's my biggest hobby. The Cavs have been an awesome partner to us in a number of different ways. We collaborate with their Junior Cavs Academy, and so our kids get to connect with the brand. There's a business here in Cleveland, a major corporation, Oswald, that does an event for us at the Cavs arena every year. So a lot of our kids get to go on the same floor that the Cavs play at, and they get to play with people from Oswald at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Their foundation has funded our programming, and yeah, just recently they recognized Empower Sports as They're diff maker of the game, sponsored by Jif, which tracks because I love peanut butter and eat a lot of peanut butter myself. But yeah, really cool experience. And I got to take my family to that game, and I spend a lot of nights and weekends and at these programs. So for my daughters to be able to see that, and that was a really special and memorable experience that I'll cherish forever. But yeah, just proud of it, and hate to be the person that love and hate to be the person that got to walk on the courts and take that moment of recognition. But it really was about the team and every single person that works here and every single volunteer and program sponsor, and every single person is a major part of our story. And so that moment was really about the collective team and and of course, not to mention all the kids and the families that have given us a chance to be a small part of their lives. But it was cool for me to be able to accept that on all of our behalf.
That's awesome. And from the picture, it looked like it was a Celtics game. Was it a Celtics game?
It was the Celtics game, and I think I was caught up in the moment. Like, really fun because my older daughter has recently started to really get into the Cavs, and so now we have that shared bond, and she's watched
Sure.
some games with me. So caught up in the moment, and they had an amazing fourth quarter comeback. Donovan Mitchell put the team on his back and was just on fire. Pulled him off the mat, come from behind victory, and we celebrated that. And just being caught up in the moment, kind of didn't realize the Celtics were missing a couple of their key players. But hey, we found a
Doesn't
way
matter
to.
in the record book, right?
No,
Like
doesn't. So, but a great win for the team, and man, what a run they're on this year. It's been a really special season.
makes you forget about the fall.
It does. I just, I literally texted that to a friend of mine who's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and met in college, and he said, all of a sudden the Cavs are a force. I said back to him, they've made all my Cleveland Browns pain go away. It's been a good season.
That's great. I saw on the social media you do have some programming at Ohio State. Do you still have that?
We do. And that was a cool thing that transpired. Like, we've had very little to do with the success that they've had. They've been a pretty autonomous program, but it was a person who was at Ohio State, and he interned with one of our program sponsors that volunteers with us every summer, and they bring their interns out at Cleveland Research Company. And so he went back to school and said, I think this should be a club here, and we could get some students behind it and host programming here. So with our blessing, which was not a hard ask. We were like, absolutely, we'd love to have something that's connected with Ohio State and in Columbus and reaching families down there that we otherwise couldn't. He launched a club, and it has kind of self-sustained every year with a little hiccup during COVID. We all had a little hiccup during COVID, but otherwise they do, I think they do a program every fall and spring semester. We haven't been down in maybe, 2 years. Typically we'll go down as they have every year kind of elect their new executive committee, and they kind of just pick new leaders of the club each year. And then they offer their 6-week sports programs at Ohio State facilities. And they've had a lot of success, and we typically would go down there either fall semester or spring semester and just kind of rally the troops and cheer them on and offer our support in any way that we can. We've done some through our social enterprise. I think we did maybe 2 years ago, or maybe it's just last year, did t-shirts for all of their volunteers. But yeah, they kind of do everything themselves, and they've done some tremendous work, and we cheerlead for them, but we're really not responsible or can take no credit from the amazing students that have sustained that for the last handful of years.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. And then, so kind of just to wrap up, I want to make sure that I, kind of have like a short summary. So what I think is that this awesome organization called Empower Sports started off as a 6 weeks clinic 13 years ago, and now has grown to over 500 athletes participating in and registering for over 1,500 times for things from basketball to lacrosse to flag football to pickleball to fitness classes all over, sort of the Cleveland area, and then now down at Ohio State as well. And when I say Cleveland area, we're talking about 6 counties. That's just
Mhm.
amazing. How cool.
Thank you. It's yeah, it's surreal, but I do still think we're still a very small and humble organization. It's cool to be sitting on this side of the virtual screen and hear you kind of offer that synopsis. So thank you for that. We're very, very fortunate, very blessed to have the trust of the families that sign up for our programs and all the memories that we've been able to make. And I think in our most recent promotional video, my colleague Ryan said it best. He said, like, we take so much more from the athletes, then we can give back to them. So it's kind of a selfish endeavor in that way. They've made me a better person. They've given my life purpose. And I mean, the banter that we have in the office, just every day chatting about, what happened at the program and the big shots and the touchdowns and the funny things that kids said, they've given so much more and given my life so much more color and fun and purpose. And they've made me a better person, but I hope they've had fun along the way too.
That's awesome. So I noticed that someone with your last name is also on the board. Is that your dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who was the
Yeah.
kind of, hey, you're doing basketball, let's start doing this. So
Yeah.
his name is Michael. Is he still coaching basketball in the Cleveland area?
No, he's so busy with his businesses. I wish he could give more time, and hopefully he either sells his company or retires soon, because every, year, every passing year, he says, I want to get more involved with Empower Sports beyond just the board member fundraising, business advice style of involvement, but just to be on the court or be on the field with the kids that we serve. But yeah, that's something I'm really proud of, is that it was, you know, when we met Steve, he was like, this has got your name written all over it. Go and do it. So he's been, my biggest cheerleader and supporter, and someone that if we ever need anything, I know he's there for us. But yeah, he's a huge sports fan. We both are. And, the character of Empower Sports and the things that we get to do for these kids has his, fingerprints all over it.
Well, I look forward to following Empower on Facebook.
Thank you so much for reaching out to us and inviting us to be part of this. This was really cool.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of VLOGAN. Please like, share, and subscribe so you can stay up to date with some of the latest news in the disability community.